Okay, my first and only act of the day is to election of chair for the municipal year 1718. Can I invite nominees for the position of chair, please? Karen.
Thank you, Chair. I'm delighted to propose Councillor Kath Davis as Chair of North Tyneside Council for the 2017-18 municipal year. Kath has served as a ward councillor for Preston since 2012 and has proven to be a popular and effective representative for local residents. Kath is dedicated to her role as councillor and recently also as Deputy Chair of North Tyneside Council. As Deputy Chair, she has shown an abundance of energy and know-how representing the Council locally, regionally and elsewhere. She has thrown herself into the role wholeheartedly and her networking skills and can-do personality are invaluable assets. Kath can be relied on, and we all benefit from the positive contribution she makes. I hope you will all join me in my proposal to move Councillor Kath Davis as Chair of the Council this year.
Thank you, Karen. Is there a seconder? Karen?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it gives me great pleasure to second Kath Davis for Chair of the Council. Kath's been a fantastic ambassador over the past 12 months in her role as Deputy Chair, and I don't want to repeat what Karen's already said, but I firmly believe that Kath has the right qualities and attributes to be really successful in the role of Chair. She's a very supportive colleague, she's a dedicated ward councillor, and I think she'll be a real asset to the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations? Okay, can we go straight to vote? All those in favour? Any against? Okay, that's unanimous.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to share up. Go back on track. Right. I, Kath Davis, having been elected to the office of Chair of the Council of the Borough of North Tyneside, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. Can I invite a nomination for the position of Deputy Chair? Councillor Brian Willis.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Tommy Mulvenna for Deputy Chair of North Tyneside Council. Tommy has been a councillor for a total of 18 years, representing Battle Hill from 1993 to the year 2002. Then as a councillor in Valley Ward from 2008 to today. I propose this nomination because I believe Tommy has and will make a great ambassador for the local authority. He is a man of integrity and fairness. The forefront of his work in the council has always been the residents of the ward and across the whole. He does not shirk complex issues that he comes up against, and we want to see them through. He can deal with complex and often sensitive issues as a leading hand, and of course with fairness. He will take his ability to be fair to everyone to the position of Deputy Chair of this Council. Tommy purchased pens for friends, colleagues and local residents. The inscription was a celebration of the May Northern Red Friends' back-to-back victory, and once again getting more than 50% of their Fanside residents voting for the first ballot. These, of course, went past, so we thought that we needed to get something for the kids of the world. Parachutes, he thought. Well, he looked on eBay, on Amazon, and tried the local shops. And there was large shops in Newcastle, all to no avail. After days of searching, he was told that all the parachutes had been purchased by the Tories to get their chaps out of the southeast and into the provinces. He had half guessed this as a case, as he had recently seen Tories parachuted in the North Queensland and time from Highgate London and from Buckinghamshire. The parachutist from Buckinghamshire has described the place as a paradise, which is just as well for him as the residents of North Tyneside will be returning to there as sooner than he thinks. Other than being generous, Tommy is a dedicated councillor and a hard worker. He is well thought of and liked within the community. He has a friendly and cheerful manner, which will serve him and our borough well. I know that Tommy will have the confidence of the chamber, and we all know that Tommy will be a deputy chair that the council will be proud of. I formally propose the nomination and wish him well in the coming year. Thank you.
That was a good
Thank you, Councillor Barnett. I'm very sorry about that. We've had obviously a technical hitch. The equipment is going to be reset during the recess. So I'm advised that the seconder not use the microphone. He can, not use the microphone, just shout. Sorry. Sorry, Karen. Councillor Howard.
Some people are saying just talk normally. Thank you, Chair. Congratulations on your appointment, and can I congratulate our elected mayor on your appointment. I would like to second Tommy as Deputy Chair of North Tyneside Council. Tommy is a conscientious and hard-working councillor. His work and commitment is well known across the borough. Previously as Chair and Deputy Chair, he served the borough well, and I believe he will again be a great ambassador as Deputy Chair. Tommy has never been afraid of hard work. In fact, I believe he relishes in it. It is unknown for him to go off to a meeting within the council or some organisation or other first thing in the morning and then get back home, pick up 100 leaflets and off he goes leafleting in the borough. He will then go back out late afternoon to a meeting at the quadrant. After he would be returning home to get changed to deliver another set of leaflets, followed by a further council meeting. As I've said, Tommy doesn't shy away from hard work, and this is also the case outside the council. Walking on Benton Road during the day when Tommy's not at the council, and you're very likely to see Tommy walking along, climbing ladders to do a bit of painting and cleaning gutters, or you may at any time catch Tommy playing about with the other love of his life. No, not Maureen, the other love of his life. Anything with wheels, with or without an engine. He has bikes and bike parts slung up neatly around the garage. Tommy has only recently managed to tear himself away from his beloved vintage MG, which he has recently sold. I believe he has had sleepless nights over the loss. Tommy can talk to anyone about bikes, and I doubt that there is anyone in this chamber can face a puncher as fast as Tommy. But if there is, you do wish to discuss cycling with Tommy, to make sure you have 3 or 4 hours to spare. The only wheels that I haven't seen Tommy on are roller skates. Maybe there's something he should be thinking about as he dashes from one meeting to another over the next year. I know that Tommy has the respect of all parts of this chamber and the officers and residents, especially in Valley Ward. He is a generous man and will put himself out to help others, which he has done on many occasions. All of the community groups in Valley Ward know of his generosity. Christmas, Easter and summer fairs do not go by without a raffle prize or 2 donated by Tommy. And if you want to watch a pen, or if you want to watch or a pen or something like that, Tommy is the person. You can go past him. He's a bit of a dad hand at wholesale PB. The kids at Valley Road have benefited from these many times. I believe many recall the occasion when he purchased a load of super bouncy balls and handed them out to the kids in Shirewell. As we were out leafleting, the kids were delighted as they launched the balls into the stratosphere. However, I'm not sure the parents were so happy as the balls were bouncing off all over the place and onto windows. Not the best way to get a ball, Tommy. Tommy has a wide range of skills reflected in his professional life. He started work within the construction industry when he left school. He changed careers in 1974, teaching people with special needs woodwork. He has also worked in hospitals and law courts and as a probation officer. He also informed me that he spent a short spell in prison. I believe he was working there though. I'll get that up with him later. Tommy has spent more than 36 years working in the community, whether supporting voluntary organisations in his spare time or helping individuals as a professional, or simply as a concerned citizen. He deserves the support of this chamber, and I, with enthusiasm, nominate Tommy Mulvenner as Deputy Chair for the Inside Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Now can we, well, there'll be a short recess. Sorry, we're going to, sorry. Do we have any other nominations for the position of deputies? Vote the vote. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. There'll be a short recess with exchange of chairs of office. And resetting the system. Thank you. Sorry, we did omit something before we went for the recess. I think it was the technical problems, but we didn't have Councillor Tommy Mulvenner's declaration, and that needs to happen.
I, Tommy Mulvenner, having been elected to the office of Deputy Chair of the Council of North Tyneside, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties, therefore, according to the best of my judgment and ability. I'll get some new glasses.
Have you not got a pen?
Oh, these are Tommy's pens. Star Wars.
We've got to right. I would now like to invite Councillor Carl Johnson to propose a vote of thanks to the retiring chair and the chair's consort, which will be seconded by Councillor Leslie Spiller.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move a vote of thanks to Dave and his long-suffering consort, Maureen. I'm not going to go into the usual stories because I've already bored everyone the last 2 years with these stories about Dave and his love of Newcastle United and rabbits. Dave has really took the role of chair this year. I don't think anybody in this chamber can accuse Dave of not being fair. He's in the chair, he's been very fair in the chamber to everyone. Dave has really took the role of chair this year. He's been a great representative of North Tyneside at civic events, but I know Dave's big passion when he's been a chair has been for his charity. Dave's really been a great ambassador for his charity there. He's been a huge part of raising money for it. I know he took great pleasure in opening the Respite Caravan at Amber Links, which he helped his charity achieve this year. So David and Maureen, I'd just like to thank you both for your work as chairman and consort this year. Thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Spiller, are you seconding?
I'm totally unprepared for this because I understood that it's not normal to second the vote of thanks, but I'm delighted to do so. Last week I attended what I think might have been Dave's last event, his at home in the council chamber, and I can honestly say that the well over 100 people who attended had a wonderful time. It also brought to a close his fundraising for his chosen charity, and I understand there's now a caravan for the use of the people who the charity supports, that they can now go and have breaks, which I think is a fantastic achievement. It's been a hard year, I'm sure, for him with all of the jobs that you have to take on, but he and Maureen have carried it out with great faith and certainly represented North Tyneside well. I hope he enjoys his next year where it's not quite so busy, and I wish them both well next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Spiller. Will the leaders of political groups speak at this point?
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations on your election, and I hope you have a fulfilling year. Chairman, we always thank outgoing chairmen of the council and their consorts for their hard work during the period of office. They put in a great deal of time representing the council to residents, visitors and other authorities, and we owe them our thanks for all that. Elected members judge chairmen on their performance in council, and we were uncertain what to expect from Councillor McGrath, who we know had had major policy differences with us concerning carbon reduction and street lighting economies, in waste management control and purchase of LATS pollution certificates. On election, Councillor McGrath shook us all by resigning from the Labour Party because he thought this would enable him to be as fair as possible in chairing council meetings. He retracted this later on, but nevertheless we do think he made a real effort to be fair in conducting our meetings. But, and there's always a but, he did refuse to accept any of my questions to the Mayor concerning the more eccentric utterances of Mr Corbyn, many of which are now before the public in the forthcoming general election. Chairman?
We have to be mindful, we are in Purder at the moment, we're still in Purder, and we need this meeting to be non-political as possible. It's the annual meeting. It is a difficult time, it is an unusual time, but we are still in Purder. Thank you.
One more sentence, Chairman. Chairman, we think Councillor McGrath did a reasonably good job, and certainly much better than we expected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to you doing up the chair's job. Yeah, I think obviously Dave, certainly Dave McGowan and myself and Marion go back a long way. Chased each other around the streets for a long, long time, haven't we? When you're younger, chasing with leaflets, trying to get to the doors before each other. So we do go back a long way, and Dave has done an excellent job, along with Maureen in the chair of chair and consort. I tend to meet the new chair. I don't know if I will with you, Chair, but I tend to meet the new chair at the Wallsend Boys Club annual presentation. So I always know what starting a new year, because that's where I tend to meet the new chair. And certainly I'm more than happy to support the vote of thanks. Dave's done an excellent job, and I know it's a very tiring, well, I've been told it's a very tiring and hard working job, but I think the fruits and the pleasures in the actual commitment in the return you get from the job of doing it, I think are well worth it. And I hope your year is as successful as Dave's has been. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak?
I would just also like to thank Councillor Dave McGar for his contribution to the role of the Chair of the Council, and acknowledge the good work that he's done to support his chosen charity out of sight, and to help them reach their target in funding the caravan. That was just a fantastic achievement. Thank you, Dave.
Present the document.
Well, thank you, Carl, for those warm words. I am looking forward to getting back to the match at the Roberts. And those for you, Leslie, as well. And Ed, get over it. Well, what a year it's been for me. It started with Newcastle United being relegated. Then we had the UA referendum, followed by the Tory leadership election, then a Labour leadership election. UKIP had their leadership election, along comes Donald Trump. And UKIP have another leadership election. Article 50 is triggered, Tories call a snap election, Newcastle United finish up being promoted as champions, and Norma wins a historical second term. And all this happened under my term as chairman. But when I look back on this year, I think of 5 C's. C is for children I've met, and the joy they express and give when receiving their awards. C is for citizenship ceremonies, meeting some very talented people out there, with skill we really need, who've come to settle in North Tyneside, and have added a great deal of expertise that we need. And C is for charity, helping my chosen charity to more than reach their target, provide much needed respite to their families. And it's not finished yet, I've got another one to do on Saturday. And C is for Carol Gibbon, the oil and cogs behind the civic office. She's been my little genie in a bottle. Give her a wish and she'll make it come true. And finally, C is for my consort. We have shared this adventure together, and we shall share the memories forever.
Thank you, Dave, that really fitting speech. Thank you very much. We'll move on now to apologies. Have you received any apologies?
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Chair, by the way. Well done. I've got apologies from Councillors Judith Wallace, Alison Austin, Pam McIntyre and Ken Barry.
Can members please sign the relevant attendance sheet? Thank you. Can I remind members if they have a sorry, I have to turn the microphone on. Can I remind members if they have any registrable or non-registrable interest in the matters appearing on the agenda and the nature of the interest they must verbally declare in respect of any items of business to be discussed at this meeting and the nature of such interests. You are also invited to disclose any dispensation from the requirement to declare any registrable or non-registrable interests that have been granted to you in respect of any matters appearing on the agenda. Those members should complete the card circulated and return it to the receptacle located at the desk of the Democratic Services Officers before leaving. Councillor Hunter.
Chair, can I too offer you my congratulations to you and hope you have a wonderful year. I'm sure you will. It's a very busy one. I do have a personal interest in item 13 and I won't be voting, but I won't be leaving the chamber.
Thank you. Can I ask the Council to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of March?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Councillor Linden?
I'll just point out on the minutes here, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but I'm just saying on page 23, with reference to Councillor Wallace's statement, I'd like to inform the Council before Parliament was dissolved, Mary Glindon was a member shadow of EFRA team with a remit for farm and food rural communities and not a spokesperson for fishing and fisheries. I just like to point that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Glendon, but unless it's about the accuracy of the minutes,
Sorry, Chair.
Chair, my point was made.
I was just asked by Councillor Wallace in case something was said. I mean, I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't know whether this is actually totally appropriate. Councillor Wallace said that what was said was entirely factual, based on public parliamentary records.
I'm sorry, but this is not to do with the minutes. We have to move on, and if it's not about the accuracy of the minutes, then we have to move on. Item 7. Can I ask the Council to receive the return of the elected mayor following the mayoral election held on the 4th of May? We have the agenda. I'd now like to ask Norma Redfern, elected mayor, to address the council.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on the Chair. Well done. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our retiring Chair of Council, Councillor David McGall, and of course the Councillor Maureen, for all their hard work over the last year. I'm sure that David and Maureen will have thoroughly enjoyed the role and have made lots of new friends along the way. I think they've been excellent ambassadors for our borough, raising money for Out of Sight, a charity for the visually impaired children, and the Alzheimer's Society. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Councillor Pat Davis and her consort, Karen Bartlett, and congratulate Councillor Pat Davis on her new role as chairman, and also congratulate Tommy on his appointment as deputy chair. I'm looking for the rapporteurs, Tommy. No doubt our new chairman, Cat Davis, will continue the great work that Dave has undertaken. And I do hope she enjoys the year ahead. I'm sure she will. And welcome to Karen Bolger and Maureen Mulvenna as their consorts. I wish to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues for their continued support and the help they give me toward the mayoral election. And I'm sure you understand that I was delighted to be re-elected for the second term with an increased majority in turnout. I think I did a reasonably good job. Could it be that the people voted for a strong and stable leader here in North Tyneside? and Logan. I would also like to extend a personal thanks to all of the Cabinet members for their tremendous hard work and dedication, and in particular to thank our retiring Cabinet member, Alison Rabbit-Faird. It has been another challenging 12 months, particularly in the light of the efficiency savings we've had to achieve. However, despite these challenges, we have achieved a great deal. As we start the new council year, I am determined that my Cabinet and the wider council can build on these achievements and deliver the things that really matter to our residents. Details of the current Cabinet portfolio areas and responsibilities have been circulated, and I intend with the officers to carry out a review of the current portfolio areas this year, and any changes will be reported back to full council. Finally, I would like to take this offer to offer a huge thanks to all our employees who we rely on to deliver the service to our residents day by day and make our ambitious plans and vision for North Tyneside a reality. I do hope you will continue to support our plans in the year ahead, and I would just like to add a welcome back to Phil Scott. We missed your laugh, Phil, so you're most welcome, and I'm glad you're back and everything went well for you. And to everyone else, thank you once again for all your support. It has been much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Norman. Can I ask the names of the leaders of each of the political groups to be announced? The Conservative group?
Great. Councillor Judith Watts.
Labour group?
I'd like to move the Mayor, Norma Redfern, will be the leader of the Labour group.
Thank you. Liberal Democrats?
That would be me, Chair.
Item 10, can I ask for the names of the deputy leaders of each of the political groups to be announced? Conservative group?
I know this one, Chair. Yeah, it's Councillor Alison Wilson.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to say that this will be a surprise, but it won't be if we put Maureen forward. Thank you.
And the Labour group?
Thank you, Chair. Bruce Pickard.
Thank you. Item 11. Can I invite Councillor Jim Allen to move the recommendations set out in the report?
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations to you and your new deputy in your new roles.
Thank you.
And also congratulations to Norma and her success in being re-elected. I'd just like to explain the work of the Constitution Task Group this year has used electronic communication, which has made a saving in terms of having meetings to deliberate over the proposed amendments. And briefly, I'd just like to say the annual review of the main Constitution and its associated documents has been undertaken in consultation with the Constitution Task Group. No changes to the main Constitution have been identified during this review, but three key issues have been identified for the officer delegation scheme, which include delegations under the Anti-Social Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act 2014, a change to one of the exceptions to the list of planning matters that are delegated to officers in respective applications referred by councillors to planning committee, and new delegations arising from the authority's duties as a highway authority in line with the requirements of the Highways Act 1980. Please note the details of this proposed delegation was circulated to members after the main agenda was circulated. I would like to move the recommendation in paragraph 1.2 of the report that Council approve the proposed changes to the officer delegation scheme and refer those changes to the elected Mayor for her consent.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Do you have a seconder?
Formally second.
Are there any questions? I'll invite members to speak to the motion.
Thank you, Chair. Also, my congratulations to yourself, the Deputy Chair, and your respective councils. The one I want to take issue with is on page 33. I do understand why, to some extent I understand partly why this is key. This is the one we're saying that councillors try to limit the right of councillors to be able to refer matters to a committee. Having sat on planning, I can understand the frustration of officers and to some extent the chair of planning if members do try to refer something to planning committee, which otherwise would go for officer delegation, if they don't actually follow through on that, on the reasons why they're asking for it to be referred to planning. However, I think reducing, adding this change, I think, is a step backwards in my view. I can remember when we had the right as non-executive councillors to refer matters to the full council meeting for planning. So what it's saying here is that as to why the application is so significant or contentious. Well, what's contentious to one person may well not be contentious to someone else. I think they're probably giving more of a difficult job to the chair and deputy chair of planning by actually going down this line. So I'd just like to ask you to look at it again, and perhaps the mayor can take this on board when she's looking at it. The reason given for this is because it's to bring it in line with the rights of speaking rights for members of the public, and I think it is better to perhaps strengthen the speaking rights for members of the public than diminish the rights of non-executive councillors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Westbrook. Councillor Allen?
Chair, I think Councillor Hutchcroft's perhaps misinterpreting this alteration. Currently at Plan Committee, the simple call of a councillor for the matter to be referred to Plan Committee has not been explained, and there's no advance warning for Plan Committee to understand what the nature of the call-in is. The call for it to go to Plan Committee. But I just think it means you have to justify and explain why you want Plan Committee to consider it. And I'm sure that the chair and deputy chair of the Plan Committee will actually take things into account and perspective before they make a decision.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Do you have any other questions? I'll now invite members to, we'll now go to the vote. Is that, sorry, does anyone want to speak to the motion? Any other members? Councillor?
Chairman, just to say that I too interpreted it very much as Councillor Allen interpreted it. I felt I had confidence in the chair and the deputy chair in making that decision. So I'm quite happy with it.
Thank you, Councillor. We'll now go to the vote. Those in favour? It's 55.
Any against? Thank you, that's carried.
Item 12. Right, can I invite Councillor Bruce Pickard to move the recommendations?
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your appointment, and also to Tommy as the Deputy, and in particular to Mayor Norma Redfern on her historic and well-deserved reappointment as Mayor of North Tyneside. This report requests Council to approve the appointments of its various committees and subcommittees for the 2017-18 municipal year, the allocation of seats to political groups on those committees and subcommittees, the appointment of chairs and deputy chairs to the committees and subcommittees, the reappointment of the 2 independent members of the audit committee, and the appointment of representatives to serve on non-executive outside bodies. I would like to move that the Council appoint the various committees and subcommittees for the 2017-18 municipal year, and the number of seats for each committee subcommittee as set out in section 1.5.1.1 of the report. Approve the allocation of seats on those committees and subcommittees to political groups represented on the Council as set out in Appendix 1 to the report, and agree that the leaders of the political groups inform the head of law and governance of their group's nominations to those committees and subcommittees by 12 noon tomorrow. Agree to the appointment of the chairs and deputy chairs of committees and subcommittees nominated by the Labour group as circulated around the chamber. Approve the appointment of Mr Kevin Robinson and Mr Martin Wilkinson as the 2 cooperative members of the Audit Committee for a further 2-year period expiring in September 2019. Note the appointment of Reverend Michael Vine as the Church of England Diocesan Representative and Mr Jerry O'Hanlon as the Roman Catholic Diocesan Representative on the Overview, Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee. Note that the elected Mayor will appoint at least 1 councillor onto the Health and Wellbeing Board for the 2017-2018 municipal year, and agree to the appointment of representatives to serve on non-executive outside bodies nominated by the Labour group as circulated around the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kickell. Do you have a seconder?
I formally second.
Thank you, Dr. Bailey. Are there any questions? I now invite members to speak to the motion. Any speakers? No? And therefore we'll now go to vote. Those in favour? Any against? That's 54, so that's in favour, so that's carried. Now move on to item 13, freedom of the borough. Can I invite Councillor Ian Grayson to move the nomination as set out in the report?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, can I congratulate you on your appointment and the Deputy Chair on his appointment as well. Yes, this, in moving the report, there is some additional information, obviously, on page 49 that was submitted. So this is to support the nomination. I'm actually delighted and honoured to be moving that we bestow the Freedom of the Borough on Sarah Hunter, Women's World Rugby Player of the Year 2016. Sarah is England captain. She has 90 caps. She's a 4th-highest capped women's rugby player ever for England. She has 19 tries. She won the World Cup with England in 2014. She was awarded an MBE in the same year, and just recently captained England to a Grand Slam victory this year against Ireland. At least there was something to celebrate for those of us who were in Dublin for the weekend that weekend. She was born in North Shields and attended Gulfland Primary School and Long Benton High School. She started playing rugby at 9, although when she first started, she started by playing rugby league. Well, I'm pleased by the age of 15 to announce that they then switched to rugby union. Although by her own admission, at first she didn't know what she was doing. She said she was holding on to the ball when she should have been releasing it. Not something that I really bothered with in my rugby career. But Sarah quickly adapted and progressed to the ranks, moving up through the ranks, playing at Novos in Newcastle and making her England debut in 2007. In 2016, gaining the recognition for her hard work, her dedication and her performance as Women's World Rugby Player 2016, which is no mean feat, the pinnacle of her career, the top person in the sport, and I think that's a tremendous achievement and an honour for her, and also her hard work that she put in throughout her career. And I'm sure she has proud parents as well. As some of you know, I played a bit of rugby when I was younger, and on doing my research on this tremendous rugby player, Sarah Hunter, I looked to see whether there was any similarities. And I can tell you that we both like Downton Abbey.
That was it. Sarah has reached the top of her sport. She's an excellent role model and ambassador, and she's an inspiration to young people across the country, especially young people in our schools in our borough. She thoroughly deserves this honour, and I'm proud to be moving that Sarah Hunter be awarded the Freedom of Borough of North Tyneside. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Grayson. Do you have a seconder?
Yes, Chair, he does. Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Horton.
Thank you. First of all, Chair, congratulations to yourself on your election. I sincerely hope that the pleasure you derive is directly proportional to the effort that you put in, because I know you'll throw yourself at the job. Secondly, congratulations to Mayor Redfern on a resounding victory. And thirdly, congratulations to Tommy Mulvena on his renaissance. Now, seconding the motion, it's a privilege to second the motion that someone who is, and I quote a rugby columnist here, someone who is a truly modest and humble person should receive the freedom of the Borough of North Tyneside. Sarah Hunter, member of the Order of the British Empire, England Rugby's women's captain, World Cup winner, Grand Slam winner, and now World Rugby's Female Player of the Year, will be a worthy recipient of this honour. A veteran of over 80 test matches, her achievements in the sport are now without equal. Sarah's renowned for three qualities, referenced by most commentators: her work ethic, her humility, and her smile. Watch Sarah on the playing field, captaining England, and what you notice first is the smile. It's so evident that she's enjoying herself, hitting people and knocking them to the ground, while simultaneously encouraging others to do likewise. Teammate Danielle Waterman credits Sarah as leading with a smile. In fact, I've seen a photograph of Sarah having her ear sewn back on, and she's smiling. In a TV interview following the announcement she'd been named as the best player in women's rugby, Sarah shared the story about the picture on her mantelpiece at home of her playing rugby against the boys when she was at Gothlands Primary School. She's charging, she appears to be twice the size of the others, and there's a boy standing there with his hands out as if to say, please stop. In that interview, Sarah shares the story with a broad laugh, and it would probably be of some comfort now to the boy in the photograph to know that the girl who's so terrified him 2 decades ago went on to become the best player in the world. But Sarah rounds off that interview by admitting that, and this is where the humility comes through, it's still taking a bit of getting used to, to be quite honest. And also she says, it's something I never imagined would be put alongside my name. She's also credited with saying, ever since I started playing, I've played because I love the game. It's not about striving for individual glory, it's the ultimate team sport, and it is not about personal success. The third quality I referred to earlier is her work ethic. When I started watching women's rugby, and Sarah in particular, because I knew her, I've known her since she was that high, she reminded me of a player who represented England over 70 times in the men's game. I rated Richard Hill to be one of the best back row players of all time, not only because of how hard he tackled, how he covered every blade of the grass over the 80 minutes, how unselfishly he set other players up to score the tries, not just because of what you saw him do, but because of what you didn't see him do. It's referred to as the unseen work. In my day it meant something quite different and hostile, but now the unseen work is regarded as important. Sometimes on a rugby pitch, for example, there's a turnover and you can't quite see how the ball came to be turned over. And then Richard Hill would appear. In much the same way, as Sarah Hunter does a lot of the unseen work. She makes things happen. To quote Sarah again, please try to understand my surprise that when I started to do some research for this speech, I learned that Richard Hill is actually Sarah's hero, the player she modelled herself on. And in fact, to quote Sarah again, speaking about Richard Hill, she said, "I thought if I can be half as good as him, I'll be a fairly all-right player." What an understatement. And can you imagine Sarah's surprise when the former England and Saracens flanker, now a part of the men's national team coaching setup, presented her with the trophy immediately before the match against the New Zealand women's team. I don't know if Richard Hill can get a ticket up here for the actual presentation. Sarah's rugby journey has taken her from Goathlands Primary School to her England breakthrough, which earned her the nickname Animal from the national coach, although she is now called Shunter for more reasons than one, and to the England captaincy and on to become a World Cup winner. Hopefully the freedom of the Borough of North Tyneside will cap off a most successful year for our most successful women's rugby player. I do hope members will support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Walcott. Are there any questions? I now invite members to speak to the motion. Councillor Pat Oliver.
Thank you, Chair. And can I add my congratulations to yourself and to Mayor Redfern and to Tommy. I'm sure we're going to have a great year. As one of the Benton councillors, where Sarah comes from, I am delighted to support her nomination for Freedom of the Borough. Whenever I meet Sarah, I'm always impressed by her modesty and humility, as Frank said. Given her achievements, which are considerable, she remains a genuine Geordie lass, loyal to her roots and steadfast in her values. There are no airs and graces about War Sarah. As a council, we should be proud of the fact that she developed a love of rugby at Goathland Primary School, and at the tender age of 9, and has since gone on to forge a brilliant career. Yet she is always happy to meet and inspire young girls, hoping to follow in her footsteps. What a superb role model they have in Sarah. She has spent 11 years at the top level of the game and has shown dedication and persistence in recovering from injuries. Even when she's on holiday, and I've seen her do this, she maintains a grueling training schedule every day. In a recent interview with BBC Sport, she said that when she was pulled aside from training to be told she'd been shortlisted for World Rugby Women's Player of the Year, she initially thought she'd done something wrong. She emphasised that although it is fantastic to receive the award, she plays because she loves the game, and said it's not about striving for glory, it's the ultimate team sport and not about personal success. That is typical of Sarah, who richly deserves to be recognised for her achievements by her home council, and I hope that this will be supported unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Oliver.
Chair, but just to say that Sarah is obviously a remarkable athlete, a remarkable person, and I share Councillor Lott's view that we're privileged to support this proposal.
Do you have any other members who wish to speak? Sorry.
Thank you, and I support this wholeheartedly, and I think Sarah is a fantastic mentor to many of our young people in our schools in North Tyneside. There's tremendous talent out there, but when you see the journey that Sarah's taken, I think it will spur them on to do greater things, and I just would like to congratulate the parents on the support they've given their daughter to achieve this standard. Well done, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Redfern. We'll now go to the vote. Those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you. Now going to item 14, the annual report, the overview of scrutiny 2016-17. And I'd like to invite the Chair of the Urban Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee, Councillor Sandra Graham, to present the report.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to you and to Tommy on your appointment as Chair and Deputy Chair. And congratulations to the elected Mayor on her re-election victory. Thank you. I'm pleased to introduce the Overview Scrutiny and Policy Development Annual Report for 2016-17. This has been yet another busy year for overview and scrutiny in North Tyneside, and the report highlights some of the deep scrutiny work undertaken, the impact that scrutiny has had, and briefly outlines the process for development of the 2016-17 work programme. As Chair of the Overview Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee, during the last year, I'd like to thank all of the members, the co-opted members who give freely of their time, officers and representatives of our partner organisations for their support and contributions to the scrutiny process over the past time. Particular thanks go to our dedicated democratic service officers who support our committees and scrutiny panels and groups. Their input is crucial. I'd like the Council to recommend to note this annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Graham. Are there any questions? I now invite members to speak to the report. Do you have anyone to speak? No? Thank you.
We'll now move on to...
Oh, sorry. No, the report, sorry. No, the report, thank you. We now move on to item 15, the Standards Committee Annual Report 2016-17. Could I invite Councillor Carl Johnson to move the recommendations as set out in the report?
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to yourself, to Tommy the Deputy and to Mayor Redfern. It's been a busy year for the committee, unfortunately. We start with a variety of matters which are detailed in the work programme 2016-17 and Annex 1 of the report. The Standards Subcommittee has met on 2 occasions to deal with requested dispensations and they've been granted. The committee has been very proactive this year. It's been very keen to encourage training for members relating to code of conduct, prevent the issues from happening rather than deal with them later. It's dealt with the code of conduct, dispensations, and equality and diversity, which all training to be provided to. The committee will consider its work programme for next year in its first meeting of 2017, and the committee is informally met to discuss the work programme and its development for next year. Any suggestions that people have will be fed into the work programme of the committee. I'd like to thank the officers for their support in the committee this year. Viv, Louise, Stephen and Yvonne have all been a great support of me. I'd like to thank the members of the committee. I'd also like to thank Peter, the Deputy Chair, who is moving on from Standards Committee this year as Deputy Chair. I want to say something about the Standards Committee. Unfortunately, towards the end of last year, probably outside of the Presbytery, there was a flurry of complaints at the end of the year. Councils in North Tyneside really need to have thicker skins and stop putting in unscrupulous complaints to the Standards Committee. There's been some complaints that are quite simply not complaints, and the Standards Committee is not the place for them. So yeah, thank you, and I move the report.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Early.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations to you and to Tommy on the respective elections, and congratulations to Mayor Redfern on the re-election. I'd like to formally second the report and to thank the committee members and the officers for all the hard work during the course of the year.
Thank you, Councillor Early. Are there any questions? I'll now invite members to speak to the motion. No speakers. Then we'll now go on to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Item 16, filming of council meetings. Can I invite Councillor Bruce Pickard to move the recommendations that are in the report?
Thank you, Chair. At its meeting held on the 21st of July 2016, Council agreed to continue filming meetings of the full Council for the remainder of the 2016-17 municipal year and to provide a video/audio record of those meetings online via the authority's website. This report seeks Council approval to continue this arrangement for future full Council meetings. It proposed that the same in-house arrangements for filming and uploading the footage online that have been in operation since filming started in February 2016 continue for future Council meetings. This is a vital and static webcam and the mobile camera operated by a single operator to produce a video-audio record to which a link from the authority's website can be made available for viewing. I'd like to thank the staff for the work that they do in that. And it is proposed that the record of each meeting continues to be retained and made available for viewing on the website. The report sets out the viewing figures for the Council's meetings held since February 2016, and in the light of the potential benefits of filming meetings, as set out in the report, I would like to move that the Council agrees to continue filming future meetings of full Council in accordance with the arrangements set out in this report.
Thank you, Councillor Pickard. Do you have a seconder?
Yes, Chair, I second the report.
Thank you, Councillor Burgess.
Are there any questions?
I now invite members to speak to the motion. Mayor Redfern?
I would like to support this because I think, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure my colleagues will find that it gives us an accurate sort of record of what happened in council meetings. In the past, many messages have gone out about council meetings, what has been said, but all the time have not been accurate. So I welcome this, and I think it has been extremely useful over the past year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Redfern. We'll now go to the vote. Those in favour? That's unanimous again. Yeah. Right, well, we're on to item 17, Chair's announcements. I'd just like to say it's great pride that I accept the honour of being made Chair of this Council. I will work hard to uphold the role and ensure that I represent this borough to the best I can. I've had a good apprenticeship as Deputy, and my aim as Chair will be to enable fair and reasoned debate in this Council. But I will also expect that members are mindful of the comments made within this chamber and that these comments are not made without foundation of fact. We are divided by political opinion, but we are united by being representatives of the people of this borough. And in that, we should make this duty our first and foremost. My charities for this year, well, we're going to discuss them, but as Maggie's are going to be one of my charities who have been really supportive of myself, because they offer practical and emotional support to people with cancer and their families. I also have another 2 charities which are local to the area, and I'm going to announce those at a later date. I'd also like to thank the support I've had from my council, Karen, for the last year as Deputy. It's been a fantastic experience, and I'm really looking forward to progressing to, as my duties as Chair and meeting all the more wonderful people and seeing the charities and raising money for our charities. I'd also like to say that we're going to have drinks at the end of this meeting. I'd like to extend the refreshments, I'd like to extend it to all the political parties so we can get together and round off a council meeting with shared, so we can share our values and opinions, and but also like have the benefit of speaking to each other in a relaxed atmosphere. So I'm going to reinstate the drinks at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Can I ask the Mayor, the elected Mayor, for any announcement?
Thank you very much.
Lastly, the Common Seal. And again, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to anyone who'd like to join me in the Chairman's Lounge. Thank you.